finally, some good conversation about this topic, man, because it's been a nightmare. And I left short essays, but I think this is a learning experience for me. And I also think, it's good to have these types of conversations, because this guy isn't like simping for me. He's not saying, oh, QTEEP, you're never wrong. You're 100% right about everything in this situation. He's actually disagreeing with me on certain things and calling me out for certain things. The difference is that it feels like it's genuine. It's not somebody that watched 30 seconds of a video and assumed I said certain things, or just flat out left comments that said, why did you say this? But you could literally go to a certain section of the video and see that I said the complete opposite. I thought of going through that bald video and under every comment leaving timestamps under certain comments, because most of them were calling out things that I didn't even say, like the alcohol thing. Two people were like, oh, you say this grown man can't buy his own alcohol or whatever. He shouldn't be allowed to buy his own alcohol. But I never said that. So anyways, let's get into it. I mean, I think you're kind of rage baiting, even if you don't see it. When you say something, people are going to think things. And ironically enough, a lot of the videos you are reacting to which you get rage for, are videos where someone was clipped out of context. I thought personally that this last part was funny because it's almost like I'm being taken out of context as well, but they're not even really getting to that part of the video to know the context. So it's kind of like the reason why this last part I can't 100% stand behind is because for a group that wants to complain about taking things out of context, they sure are not looking into any context at all. So that, that part, I don't know. And I bring this up later, but it is what it is. But the baiting thing. Now, this is interesting to me because I would say that I'm not rage baiting on one of the videos, but maybe the other video, and I'll clarify. It's only been the Hassan and bald video, though. And if we're being real, it's mainly the bald video. I fully expected Hassan's video to receive like more just over the top comments for nothing. I got like a few comments saying I was probably some MAGA chud, which I'm not, which is just boring to me. And it's just proof that nobody, the type of people that comment things like that didn't actually watch the video, and got, they at least didn't get to the point where I talk about my personal politics and how, I am the definition of like a socialist libtard, but it is what it is. But anyways, let's keep moving on here. The video, or the Hassan video, was bait. The bald video was not, at least not on my end. And I genuinely mean that. When I made the bald video and I said what I said in that bald video, there was no period where I was like trying to bait people. The Hassan video, on the other hand, was, because it's literally pointless YouTuber drama. I didn't get to like Hassan's politics or any of his past controversies, really. It was literally just like poking fun at the fact that, and this happened, the reason I was poking fun is because this happens like every couple of years where streamers tell you that, there's some streamer that comes out and says, my job is actually really hard. And then people make fun of them and it's funny every time. And even if I was in their shoes and I was a streamer, I would think that I would be able to also poke fun in a similar way because, it's streaming. Like, of course, somebody working in construction and doing grunt work is going to poke fun and laugh at you when you say that your job is hard. But anyways, that's 100% bait. You can call me out for that. It is what it is. The bald video, I literally say, oh, there's going to be spelling issues. It says I edited, but I obviously didn't because I'm seeing like spelling issues and stuff, but don't worry about it. The bald video, I literally say, oh, this case was thrown out, or edgy jokes aren't enough for me to think you're a bad person. I point out in that same video that I need context for some of the things people are claiming about him. I think Sonny's title, or I don't think Sonny's title is bait either, considering how much rage the topic causes. He clearly is controversial for one reason or another. I was saying I didn't think that Sonny V2's title was clickbait because he is controversial. So putting controversial in the title is obviously he's controversial because my video, I'm a small YouTuber who's never made a video about bald or any of that before. And it's blowing up in views right now. And it was getting a ton of comments and people are mad. The like to dislike ratio is like, it's fluctuating. It's around 50%. It goes up and it goes below. But hey, man, that's one of my lower ones. But this is, I guess, a controversial topic. And I've always, it's amazing to me because the community, bald's community specifically, will complain about overly sensitive people. But I feel like my criticisms were I didn't even really have criticisms of bald. There wasn't enough in that video for me to make any harsh criticisms. Other than like, I think he's just making like edgy jokes. I don't get worked up by offensive jokes or edgy jokes. But anyway, whatever, you get the idea. You for sure have made the Assam one. It's dumb. He said, she said drama needs nothing really. not exactly a serious thought. Yeah, we don't even need to talk about the Hassan thing, because the Hassan thing, it was literally just like, oh boy, like it's gonna be funny for me to just be like, yeah, he doesn't do anything hard. But even then, even in the Hassan video, I'm like, yeah, he's right. He should have just said it was a mental thing at the beginning. It's definitely like taken out of context, but like also, who cares? It's a streamer. It's funny to poke fun on him. This isn't like his journalistic integrity that we're questioning here. If I made a video talking about, if I was Willie Mack and I was making videos about him lying or being wrong about information, then I'd understand if you want to get worked up about that. But if we're sitting here talking about streamers saying they have hard jobs and other people saying no, you don't, relax. But anyways, on the other hand, the bold video has actual accusations. So I didn't bait, at least in my mind. That's what I should have said there. I didn't purposely bait, unless baiting is talking about the accusations. What I was trying to imply there is just like simply bringing up the fact that he has a controversial history potentially is bait, which I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, am I not allowed to discuss it at all? It kind of seems like maybe that's the case. And I've heard from people that simply talking about the past accusations in relation to him will cause this kind of backlash. I don't personally get it myself. I don't think it proves anything either way. At the end of the day, I still haven't learned shit. I mean, in that same video, I point out that I can't say anything about a case that was thrown out, which is true. You can't. And anyone can say anything about Bold. That's me referring to the fact that on Reddit, anyone could come on and say, actually, I saw him here and I saw him drug this girl or whatever. I can't, just because somebody says it on Reddit or online doesn't mean it's true. And I was mainly talking about the Reddit post that people were saying like, oh, he didn't give all of this money. And, the Reddit sleuth people that were sitting there trying to look at exactly how much he gave on this blurry video where you can't really count the exact money because it's blurry. But that's what I said. So I thought some citation about him not giving money to Volio would be great because it's speculation. If discussing things that are part of the public is baiting, I don't know, man. And what I really meant to say there, and I should have clarified, is then I guess, I guess I'm baiting. You know what it is. But unless you were talking about I always think the person is okay, but then somebody tells me they strangle babies comment, which is like a legit thing that happens in like half of the videos I watch by Sunny V2, where I'm like, I heard about this guy. I didn't think he was that bad. But then you find out, he's got skeletons in his closet. You know what I mean? That's just something that actually happens when I watch his videos. By default, I take videos with serious accusations, at least somewhat more seriously, because it's not harmless, dumb YouTube Twitch drama. Although to be fair, if we're gonna knock me here, even then, there is a part of me that's like, I don't know shit. I am not judge, jury, and executioner, so I'm not going to get worked up over accusations. I would more likely be worked up by somebody actually going to jail. So, that's kind of my outlook. So if you ever kind of see me talking about like a serious situation, but almost lightheartedly, it's because we do not know yet. We just don't know yet. People could be lying. Things could be made up. There's no point in me getting worked up over something that I don't know definitively is true or not true. But anyways, that clip's taking out of context argument is, as you could tell, I was mad because I replied right after this with double comments. Dear God, dude. Not even really mad, just wanted to discuss because this guy did make me mad. But that clip's taken out of context argument is exactly what makes all of this so ironic, because that's what the people who simply watch 30 seconds of the video are doing. 90% of the comments where people are assuming that I said this or that so that they can, that thing they complain about people doing is exactly what they are doing by not actually watching and leaving dumb comments like, oh, so you think this guy should be allowed to buy his own alcohol, when I say the exact opposite in the video. I mean, this is basically just me saying, hey, that whole getting clipped out of context thing that people are complaining about, they're kind of doing something similar to me, because, and I'm solely basing this off of the majority of comments that were on that video at the time, because the majority of them were saying that I was inferring things that I did not say. Like these were like definitive things. The alcohol thing was the thing that kind of made me go crazy, because there were two comments about it and it's just flat out not what I said at all. And when I went back and watched, it's like, it's not even really up for like debate. There's never a time where I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. I was like, maybe I had to take like, some people might disagree with it, I guess, but once somebody's a certain age, man, and they're just doing whatever, they're a grown ass man, let them get the alcohol that they want. So the fact that I got two comments about that was super annoying. And it is literally, it's not exactly the same, because they're not taking a clip out of context. They're just like not even getting to the clip at all. They're assuming that the clip is about that. So I don't know. But anyways, he replied, I mean, it's very much it is like very much a context thing. Sorry. The people just want something to get mad about, and they will deceive themselves into thinking this means anything. I think that's true. But he says, I mean, you are kind of doing the same thing here. It's some random guy on the internet. You can take down the comments or not respond to read them, but like you responded, not saying this is bad, but you're clearly doing it too, which is true. I am doing that exact thing by responding to it. I look at mine a little differently though. I'll be honest with you. I mean, the way that I view it is I initiated the conversation by starting this video, and the problem that I have isn't people that are baited by anger. It's that they're baited by anger over things that I did not say. How much I should get worked up about that is what I think the volume of it at the time was what really got me annoyed, because most of the comments were like that. I had like 2 positive comments. I had 2 comments that were like, I don't know, something about how I look, or whatever it might be, like usually whenever you make fun or not even make fun, whenever you make a video about somebody like this, there's a lot of like these virgins, they hate when blood, which is, throwaway comments. Who cares? You know what I mean? But the vast majority, like legitimately, there were over 20 or so that were just about like, he's just making jokes. Are you really so sensitive? You get worked up about jokes? Even though at the end of the video, I'm like, sounds like edgy jokes to me. You know what I mean? And, I guess maybe like some of the things he said about like the way he like sexualizes women could potentially not be jokes or be jokes. I don't know. Like I don't know this guy personally. But at the end, my thing is, if you're a bad person, you're a bad person. I don't think making edgy jokes makes you a bad person. So, reading the majority of those was very annoying, but he is right. He's 100% right. I am doing that thing. But anyways, and it is rage bait, but probably not how you think about rage bait. It's more rage bait in the sense that you're saying your opinion in not like a super straightforward way, so people will get angry. I guess you could say that. You could almost say that I'm fence sitting, but if we wanted to put it all out on the record to make it clear, my opinion, and I've shared it in this video, on that video, is these things that he posts online aren't always definitively how he actually is. I haven't looked into his little dossier thing where we find out his old form thing. Everything that I saw in the video, like the court case was thrown out. And at the end of the day, these edgy jokes, I'm not going to get worked up by edgy jokes because they're edgy jokes. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's, I'm saying my opinion, but not straightforward. I guess maybe I could just be direct and say, if he is a rapey dude, then he should be in jail. If he isn't, then who cares? Because that's like my, he's a little bit of a sex pest, or a lot of bit of a sex pest, and he really likes women. But if he can keep it in his pants and not drug anybody, then let him be. Try not to record people's asses in public, but you get the idea. But anyways, if you're talking about anything semi-controversial, the only way to not engage in rage bait is to just be super factual, which we know is not like this whole super factual and upfront about everything, no jokes, is the complete opposite of what I would ever want to do in any video ever. I do not want to become a commentary script reader that just reads off the accusations, because even then, even those people that don't have any jokes or opinions, they still get people mad at them. Sunny V2 literally just kind of reported things that he read. He didn't even state any personal opinions, but if you go and you look at his video and the comments, look at any video about Bald and Bankrupt, man, I had no clue that he had such a intense fan base. You know what I mean? Any video about him, it could literally just be someone reading an article about something he was involved in the past, and people will be like, look at these beta soy boy, cuck, whatever, virgins. You know what I mean? So I don't like this mentality. I don't. And I don't think I will ever be able to embrace this, because that would be taking this whole thing too seriously, the idea of being a YouTuber. And I clarify this at the end of this because I am tired of like this like how serious people take absolutely every YouTube. It's like we're journalists or something, and some of us are just dudes who like, we see this video, this looks weird, I'm gonna make some jokes about it, and like, looking super far into it. It's like they want to be able to say like, you're just, some small YouTuber that means nothing, but then they also want to expect some level of like journalistic integrity out of you, as if you are, on CNN or something, or Fox, or I don't know, whatever you watch, which is stupid and dumb. So the only way to really deal with this is just don't engage with it. And that's probably the most true thing about what you're saying. The best thing to really do would be to not engage with it. However, and you can call me stupid on this. You can genuinely call me stupid on this. I want there to be an era, and I've heard Gokanaru say something about this too. I want there to be an era where people look at this accusation culture and drama culture on YouTube, and they don't take it like a life or death situation, right? Now, obviously, like with Bald, you had serious accusations. None of them, at least in that video, were, confirmed really in any way. So from my outlook, my overall reaction is going to be this, you know what I mean? It's going to be to not be super serious because we don't know anything. Now, if halfway through that video, he went, we have definitive proof that he did this here, this happened, then the whole vibe of the video is completely going to change. It's no longer going to be like jokey Lucy. Oh, he did that. That's weird. What the? It's going to be, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. That didn't really happen in the Sunny V2 video because there's a lot of, oh, he might have been joking here. He might have been doing this. He might have just, he's saying whatever he can do to get attention here. He's rage baiting. You get the idea, which is why my usual take at the end was, I'm not going to get worked up over edgy jokes if they were jokes. And also, if they weren't edgy jokes and he really is out here drugging people, then go to jail, man. Turn yourself in. But anyways, let's see how I respond. I don't even remember. You are right. Me getting baited into rage is pretty much the same. I'm just so disappointed that the majority of the comments at the time were addressing things that I did not say. It wasn't so much taken out of context. They just never got to that part of the discussion at all. Which, I mean, I guess you could say that it's a context thing because all the context they have is like, this guy is looking at a video about Bald, and at the beginning he's saying, but I actually like this dude's video. So, there's inherent like, are things going to be changed? But also like, you shouldn't be afraid of that. If somebody is watching a video about a person they like and they find out this person's bad, it sucks to find out they're bad. Now, I'm one of those people who can separate the art from the artist. You know what I mean? I do it with music all the time. It sucks to find out that an artist you really like turns out to be like a terrible person, but I'm not going to unlike their music. I'm not going to unlike their comedy. I laughed at it. I enjoyed it. Nothing can change that. That is I guess a personal fault of mine, but it is what it is. Anyways, I also agree that the best way is just not talking about it because no matter what, it's going to be taken wrong by someone, which is true. That's true about literally any upload or video you upload right now. I could say that my favorite thing from McDonald's is the McChicken, and somebody will dislike the video and be here and leave me a short essay about how it's actually the McDouble, or somebody will, nowadays, somebody will probably say, we're boycotting McDonald's. Why are you blah, 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 and they'll leave an essay talking about how I'm pro-genocide or something, because that's the clown world that we live in. But anyways, I had no ill intentions on that video specifically. Rewatching, I still agree with everything I said. He seemed edgy, but we have no proof of any real illegal activity, at least going by the Sunny V2 video. My overall take was, if this is true, it sucks, but I don't know because this case was thrown out and this random Reddit comment has no source. That was my take. I do understand that there is a dossier that's very long of his previous forum activity and like him getting in trouble and a bunch of stuff and him saying a bunch of stuff on that forum that was really messed up. But all I know from the outside without viewing that dossier is that he was accused of doing something. He was acquitted. The case was thrown out. But overall, people say he's disrespectful to women. I don't think anyone could argue that. Whether or not you care about how disrespectful he is, that's on you. I'm not going to sit here and decide your moral level for you. I don't care. We're all different people. But anyways, I have had similar takes about other people, which is true. I've had takes about Chris D'Elia, about certain other Twitch streamers when they went through stuff, and it wasn't nearly as controversial. The Brendan Schaub video, I poked fun at certain things in relation to the Brendan Schaub thing, and that video has like a 95% like to dislike ratio. So there's obviously fans or people that just don't like me there, but like mostly positive. And there's comments that make fun, but most of the comments are, it's not super serious. And a lot of the funny thing about the Brendan Schaub videos, even if people make fun of me, they still don't like Brendan. So it's like they're just like, they just don't like either person involved. But still, I've talked about other topics in relation to this, but these two, Hassan and Bald is way worse than the Hassan video. It seems like there's probably more people that hate Hassan that will just enjoy that. Bald is just like, he's got a very dedicated fan base. But anyways, I had similar takes about other people. Some ended up being cleared, some didn't, but that bald video caused the most backlash I've ever seen on this channel, which is true. And I thought I was being too tame about what I was saying. I thought a completely different type of people would be mad. I thought for sure the people who hate edgy jokes would get upset at me for not being bothered by edgy jokes, but it ended up being bald fans, and it's all on the assumption that I come from some bald hate group, when really it's a video about this YouTuber I used to watch that's controversial. Some of it looks bad, but I can't confirm anything. I think my biggest issue, and this is a personal thing, this is something that I genuinely believe, and I don't know if we'll ever get to this point, but it's how I look at YouTube. Not every YouTuber. There's some YouTubers that are more, I guess, serious than others. But I feel like we have put a lot of YouTubers kind of in the same category as we would like journalists to certain extents, and some of them are. But some of them are just me, or certain other commentary channels. They're just like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's not this super serious thing. We're looking and talking about things that we are seeing and saying, if this is wrong, or if this is true, then it's wrong. That's literally it. But then mostly making jokes. But anyways, I think my biggest issue is that I look at YouTube as a non-serious thing. I am not here to sway you on politics or social issues. I'm just some guy with goofy opinions that jokes around sometimes. Sometimes it seems like people watching treat me as if I am a journalist, or at least very serious about my opinions, when my outlook is that I'm just some guy. I have serious beliefs, but I usually keep them to myself. I vote how I vote, and I don't intend on making videos telling people how to vote. Like, this is just me saying, like, politics are usually like the brain rot. That's when brain rot begins. When it comes to like politics, I hardly ever voice my opinion on politics, because most of the time I think it's a waste of time. I'll tell you, go out and vote. Do some research on candidates that you think represent you. Go out and vote. Do you? That's usually my outlook on politics, because the conversation around it, especially online, is a fucking joke. Now in person, there's far more people that I'll talk to about it. Not online, because online is just really just, you're stupid. No, you're stupid. You're stupid. I've never had a good conversation about politics. Well, not necessarily, but most of the time, a conversation about politics online is a fucking nightmare. It's not good. Nobody learns anything. Nobody understands anybody. They just scream and throw shit at the wall or at each other. But that's the point I'm trying to get to, because it's the having both ways thing that people want. They want to be able to say, like, you're just a YouTuber, which is something that I would agree with, but at the same time, they treat you as if you're reporting on like national news, or you're reporting a very serious article, when in the reality is you're just some guy who has an opinion on stuff. Like, literally, this is the same thing I would tell you in person. And I seriously doubt that you would disagree to this level, to the fact that we would get into, I mean, honestly, truth be told, 90% of those comments, if we talked in person, like face to face, it would not be this way. It just wouldn't be this way. I think you would very quickly be like, oh, okay, it's not as aggressive as it really needs to be. But, the having both ways, like, no, trust me, I don't want you to take me seriously. I want you to treat me like just a YouTuber. Because that's what and that's not even my full-time job. You know that? But that's what I want. Anyways, I also view other YouTubers like this for the most part, which is why I'm not the type to dislike. That's true. I just don't dislike videos. I usually just click off unless I can poke fun in my own video, which is true. Usually if I see a video that's like, oh my God, like this person, is truly terrible or whatever, I just move on. I'll make a video, and this bald video, it's not like I made it because I think the controversy would get me a lot of views. To be honest, I didn't realize the controversy related to him was like well known, like it was something that would blow things up. I simply knew that I had watched his videos many times in the past, and so I'm like, okay, let's look into this, because I heard some things, but let's see what the controversy is. Now that Sunny V2 video didn't really go into any of like the serious accusations that have been posted on like that little subreddit dossier. But, I mean, I think he makes valid points, and I think that I'm kind of doing the thing that I'm complaining about by getting rage baited into replying. But I also feel like it's potentially a learning thing for me, but I also feel like there's some things that I don't like. Maybe I don't want to say I want to force it, But I want people to understand that I am not like one of those commentary channels where every sense of drama is personal. I do not know, like, I am not going to get hyper personal about YouTubers that I've never met in person. You understand what I'm saying? And because of the world we live in, where accusations come out every single day, all the time, some are true, some are not, I have to wait like a month before I find out what's true and what's not true. So if I put out a video, I'm not going to like very firmly say like, this is definitely, because truth be told, if some of these things are true, then it looks really bad. But what I can tell you, like in the case of the bald video, he hasn't been arrested. Now, it could be because he's traveling a lot and he's in a different country. If he goes back to the UK, maybe he would get arrested immediately. Who knows? But there's a part of me that's just like, what it can't, is it really this complicated? When you say something, people are going to think things. Can they think a little harder? You know? Can they just play just a few more minutes of the video and be like, oh, this guy doesn't really hate Bald and Bankrupt at all, but he is kind of questioning some of these accusations, but he's not full on saying these accusations are true, but he's saying if they are true, like why, like I would expect this on the Hassan video, because I just needlessly just talk trash about the dude. I made fun of him a lot. Well, mainly on that specific topic. I didn't get to like his politics or anything like that, but that's mainly what I did. Yet in this Bald video, where I would say I was relatively soft, I have people sitting here acting like I said he was Satan. And it's like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. But I do appreciate comments like this, and I appreciate the talks back and forth. And I do think you have valid points. And I do think that, but I also think that I'm very stubborn. And I do know that I want to start moving my channel in a very specific way. And it's going to be hard because of the way the culture is nowadays, where it's like you have people that are either 100% with something or 100% against something, and any like in between is a no-go. And I'm not even fence sitting, but you get the idea. It's impossible to tell. We'll see.